What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft commentary video. So it's been a week since I posted because I've been having a really hectic week. I had 2 midterms this week, and spoiler alert, they did not go too well. So I'm just gonna be yapping about it today while playing Minecraft. I'm currently in my survival world trying to get every advancement, and right now I'm netherite mining and I have 4 ancient debris. So that's that. Alright, first explosion of the video. Ooh. Alright guys, so to kick off the story time, let's travel to the start of the week, Monday. I uploaded my YouTube video naively thinking that I was going to upload every day, but as I looked at my calendar and realized that I had 2 midterms coming up this week, I knew no YouTube video was going to come out for a while. So Monday night, I was about to go to sleep peacefully until bling bling, my email notification rang. It was my professor for Stat333. Your test score has been now returned. Now, if you guys don't remember, last time I ranted about how I completely failed my Stat333 test, right? There was 10 minutes left of the test, and I only finished like 50% of it, and I scrambled the rest of it. So in my mind, I knew I was cooked, but when I was making that video, I did not know my test score then. But today, that all changes. That email saying my test score has now been returned sent a wave of shock through my body. I really did not want to know my test score, but I had to open it anyways, and it's one thing to know if you bombed a test or not, but it's a completely different thing to see how badly you bombed it. So I did not want to see that email, but I knew eventually I was gonna need them. But I knew eventually I was gonna need the mark anyways, so I decided to rip off the band-aid and open the email. Boom, a 58. There's no way I did this bad on the assignment. What a good way to start off the week. If I wanted to graduate with flying GPAs, this was not it. But wait, hope was not lost. When I finished that test, I saw that everybody looked kind of depressed, and nobody finished all the questions, which means a curve might be possible. Oh, there's 2 netherites. Oh my god, there's 2 ancient debris. I keep calling these 3 ancient debris. Okay. Everybody was talking about how badly they did and how badly like everyone didn't finish, right? And usually if everyone doesn't finish on the test or something, the profs will curve your test scores. I continued reading the email with hope, and then I saw it. There was a curve for this test. Let's go. I was really happy, but at the same time also really shocked when I saw the curve. Usually when a prof wants to increase your test scores or curve the test, right, they would decrease the denominator. So if you got like a 15 out of 30, they just make the out of 30 to like out of 20 or something, increasing your mark, right? That's like the standard practice. But this test, everybody failed so badly that the profs curved our marks by a square root. A whole freaking square root. That's actually insane. So ultimately, long story short, my 58 after the curve became a 70%, which honestly, it could have been worse, so I'll take it. Now, before going to sleep on Monday, I was checking my itinerary and realized that on Wednesday, I had a midterm for one of my electives. And on Friday, I have a midterm for Stat333 again. Yes, the course I nearly just failed on. Right now, I need 3 more netherite ingots, which equates to 12 ancient debris. The day is Tuesday. I was in bed at 11 a.m. until one of my friends, Julian, called me. Huh, that's weird. Julian never calls me. I pick up the phone and she tells me that she finished her lectures already at 11 a.m. That is absolutely insane to me. Her day basically ended when my day just started. Anyway, she said she wanted to come over and just chill at my dorm or something, right? It's been a while. Oh, explode. No, my dog. No. No. Anyway, she said she wants to come over and just chill and maybe study a bit, right? I don't know why I'm exploring at night. Anyway, so fast forward 30 minutes, she comes over and I have to answer the door. And that's when I nearly forgot. Holy crap, I just got a buzz cut earlier this week. I look like a mess right now. Now, I'm someone that's a little bit insecure over how my hair looks usually. Sometimes my bangs don't cover my forehead properly. Sometimes my hair is just not like taking the hairstyle that I want. And really small things like that about my hair ruin my day because I'm like, damn, I don't look like how I want to look like right now. And that's always been like an ongoing thing. So earlier this week, I decided to, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna hard reset my hair. I'm gonna factory reset my hair by buzzing it all off. I'm gonna not care about how I look for the next 6 months. So I did that, and that's like an entire different story on its own. It was one of the craziest things that I've ever done. I'm gonna make a separate video on it probably. But anyways, I realized that my hair was buzzed, and that was gonna be my first time seeing Julian. I answered the door, slightly panicked, and the first thing she says was, "Oh, what the fuck? I forgot you were buzzed." And honestly, that was just that. I don't know what I was expecting. You see, the thing is, sometimes you feel like people care about how you look more than they actually care about how you look, you know? I feel like everyone's too self-conscious about themselves when in reality, everyone is too focused on their own business to even care about like how you present yourself. To a degree. But stuff like getting a buzz cut or like your hair not looking good isn't that big of a deal in the long run. Anyways, that was a little bit of a side tangent. Anyways, Julian and I went up to her room and we just yapped a little bit, and it was pretty nice. After 3 hours, the yap session finished, and one of us suggested that we should go to the library and study together. Immediately, I could see this being a very good and bad decision. Good decision being, you know, it's my friend, you know. I always like studying with my friends, but bad decision in that when we're together, we yap a little too much. When I'm with my friends, I tend to get no work done. I'm sure you guys relate to this. But I said no. My intro to AXI midterm is in 2 days. I have to get work done. So later, me and Julian, we relocated ourselves back to the campus library and we locked in for the next 6 hours. She was studying for a statistics course. I was studying for my risk management midterm. Life was good. Except life wasn't good. I was low-key gonna fail this midterm. See, I knew this midterm was not gonna be easy because the way risk management is designed, right, is that they have their like very own definitions of terms. When you think of the word risk, you just think of like the chance of like losing or gaining something, right? That's how you would like loosely define risk, right? But in our course, it's very rigorously defined and you have to memorize this definition, and it goes with like every other terminology as well. I think I still remember it. Risk in our course is rigorously defined as the variability in future outcomes in a given situation given a certain time period. And on the midterm, right, if they ask you a question like that, if they ask you, what is risk exactly, and tell me why risk is important, right, you can't just yap about why risk is important or like potential situations involving risk, right? You would have to like rigorously spit out that definition that I just said, the variability in future outcomes given a certain time period in a certain situation, right? And that's the thing. There's very specific definitions and like terminologies you have to remember for this course. And on top of that, you have to know how to apply those terminologies and concepts, right? Most of the midterm was going to be multiple choice, but the multiple choice answers were always of the format of like pick the best answer. There isn't necessarily one correct answer, but pick the best answer. Me personally, my favorite courses have always been courses that are like rigorously defined, right? I like questions that ask you, oh, what's 3 times 9? And there's only like one clear answer, one clear correct answer, 27, and like other clearly wrong answers, right? I really don't like the courses where like a lot of like the words can be up to interpretation, a lot of the answers can be up to like interpretations, or like a lot of the answers could like also be correct, but one is like more correct than the other, right? I don't know if you guys catch the drift of what I'm saying. I like courses that have like rigorously defined answers, like linear algebra. That has been always one of my favorite courses for like the longest time, right? But this course 131 was the exact opposite of the kind of courses I like to take. So I knew if I was going to study for it, I'd have to like change up how I'm going to study for it, right? So at the library, when me and Julian settled down, I figured the best plan of attack is to memorize the lecture notes and memorize all these terminologies and concepts first. There was only 4 lecture notes, which is good news, and I've been to all 4 lectures, so I sort of like mildly knew all the concepts already. But as I said again, mildly knowing the concepts is not enough. You have to like rigorously know what each thing means. So I spent the next 4 hours copying down all the notes, and next to the library there was even an empty whiteboard. So I tried to test how much I knew about like what I memorized and stuff by making a mind map. I've heard that's always like an effective like study strategy, right? I don't know why I exactly remember this, but I remember Julian going, damn, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so I have all the lecture notes memorized. How much beds do I have? 25. Is this enough? Oh, there's no grass anymore. These sheep can't even like repopulate. Low-key, I'm just gonna let my sheep go. I don't think there's a point like containing them. Oh yeah, also while studying, me and Julian started a Spotify jam where we just like shared each other's like liked songs and stuff. It was pretty nice. I got to know her like songs, she got to know some of mine. But that's just side plot information. The main plots, right? I finished studying all my lecture notes. I was feeling good about myself. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna do so well on this course, right? I pulled up the practice midterms, which was all multiple choice and short answers, and I started doing it. 1 hour later, I finished the practice midterm, and oh my god, I matched it up with like the sample answers, and I got like only 60% of all the questions right. 60%. That is insane. I am so incredibly cooked for the actual midterm if I can only get 60% of the sample midterm right. This is where I went up, so I'm gonna like do a little marking. There we go. Anyways, where was I? Back to the story. So I didn't do too well on the practice key midterm. I knew I was a little bit screwed, so I decided to pull up ChatGPT, right? And paste in all the lecture notes, paste in all the sample midterm questions, sample midterm answers, and tell ChatGPT to make up some answers. See, risk management is a very common like concept, right? It's like a fundamental course that we need for learning AXI, so I'm sure that there was like a bunch of resources online, and I also knew that ChatGPT probably knew how to make like more practice stuff for me, right? So I asked it to make a bunch of multiple choice questions, and I was grinding that stuff. Eventually I was feeling better about myself, but nonetheless I was still a little bit worried, right? The time was now 9 p.m. I was planning to stay in the library until like 11, but Julian has her midterm at like 8:30 a.m. the next day, right? But I had my midterm the next day at 6:30 p.m. So obviously she has no time at all. So she wanted to like leave early. I don't know why I mentioned that. That was kind of pointless to the story because we both ended up leaving at 11:30 anyways. Fast forward to tomorrow, Wednesday. My midterm was today. Today was game day. I was like 50% ready, but I needed to get the other 50% also ready. Oh, I'm gonna... Dude, these things do so much damage. No netherite scraps yet. Oh, one netherite scrap. One netherite scrap. Dude, I'm always worried about like missing netherite pieces when I'm like mining here. Because what if like my previous 3 explosions also had netherite scraps in there? Oh, just one. 2. Let's see here. No scraps. I don't think I left any scraps behind. The time is now Wednesday at 10 a.m. Julian just finished her midterm and she asked to study in the library again. I was around 60% ready for the midterm, so I was like, you know what? I was just planning to study. Anyways, it's not gonna hurt to do it together. So we pulled up to the campus library again and we locked in. And when I say locked in, I mean like 60% locked in, because like part of the time I was just watching TikToks. I was just running through lecture notes again, making sure I understood every concept. I'll make my maps, review all the answers from the sample midterm, and past that, there was not much I could do, to be honest. Oh my god! Alright guys, low-key I'm realizing that I'm digging under lava lakes, and I probably shouldn't do that. So we're gonna scout out new areas that aren't just like all lava. No way. Alright, now where was I? Oh yeah. Julian's assignment was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life, okay? She was doing one of her assignments for an elective course, and the whole time while I was studying for my midterm, I look over and I just see her copy and pasting NBA stats onto an Excel sheet. No, that's literally it. Just copying the stats of like NBA players, LeBron James, onto an Excel sheet and then just plotting it onto a graph. And not only that, that took her like 4 hours to do. The whole time I was studying for like the next like 4 hours, right? She was just plotting that. And it was like, it wasn't on like any calculation stuff. It was literally just that. It was so dumb. But yeah, I don't have much to say about that study session. Let's fast forward to 6:30. Game time. It was time for the 131 risk management midterm. I walk into the classroom, and it's one of those classrooms that have like really small seatings, right? It's like an auditorium with like small seats and small desks. And not only that, the test papers were right next to each other, like no seat separation. So when I was about to write my midterm, I was about to write it next to another person. So you can kind of see how cheating is really easy to do, right? Plus the room is like incredibly big, like an auditorium. There was probably like close to 100 like students taking it, and only like 2 TAs supervising. So immediately I knew, yeah, copying is gonna be really easy. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't trust my peers whatsoever. So the test began. I was just writing my answers, and then everything I feared about this course, everything I complained about my course, came true. Some of the questions were all right. Some of the questions were made so ambiguously, okay? Some of the questions were made in a way that there were multiple right answers and you had to pick between them. So I was writing, and then we fast forward to when I finished all the multiple choice questions, right? I looked at my answer sheet, my bubble sheet, and realized, holy shit, I have 6 answers that all got D. I had 6 answers where I selected the same options, and they were all back to back to back, and I knew something was fishy. There was no way on earth that a teacher would make 6 other questions the same answer. So I immediately reread all the questions and redid all the questions, but then alas, they were still all option D. But that was that. The midterm consists of 2 parts, a multiple choice and a short answer question, and I just finished the multiple choice with half the time still remaining, so I moved on to the short answers. And what do you know? The first question for the short answer was define risk, and it was worth 4 points. If I didn't memorize the rigorous definition of risk back then, I would have gotten that question completely wrong. But luckily, I knew it. I put in the exact rigorous definition of risk that I studied. Risk is the variability of future outcomes in a given situation, given a certain time period. And I knew, boom, we're gonna take this test home, baby. It's gonna be an easy breeze. And then I read the second question. What are the negative effects of risk? Easy peasy. I memorized that too. But then after that, it asked, tell me the 2 different types of negative effects of risk. And I panicked. I knew exactly what the negative effects of risk was in the context of this course. This course defined it as like the money and resources spent in reducing risk, not the cost of like the risk actually happening. So let's say the risk of a fire would require us to like install fire hydrants and fire sprinklers and fire alarms, right? That resource spent is the negative effect of risk. It's because the fire exists, not the fact that the fire could happen. It's that the risk of fire could exist. So I put that down, but I couldn't answer the second part of the question, the 2 negative effects of risk, the 2 different types. The thing is, I didn't know what the question was asking. Is it asking me to list the 2 different types of risks? Because I studied that. I know what that is. One is pure risk and one is speculative risk, where one risk you can have gain or loss, and the other risk you can only have loss, right? I knew that. I knew the 2 types of risks. But the question asked to list the 2 different types of negative effects of risk. What does that mean? I was panicking over that question, but time was running out. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to put the 2 different types of risks on and give examples of that. And I finished that question. And the rest of the questions were all right. I don't think it's worth like yapping about the specifics because I don't even remember the specifics. But I finished that midterm and I was feeling like, I was feeling semi-confident, semi-not confident. I was like, it is what it is. What I get is what I get. Eventually, time ran out. The TAs came collecting our midterms, and I just felt okay, you know. But after the midterms were collected, somebody next to me tapped my shoulder and asked, how did you do? It was just one of my classmates that I've never talked to before. And this interaction was so funny. I feel like it's worth putting in this video. She tapped my shoulder and said, how'd you do on this midterm? And I said, okay. Oh, that sheep just regenerated. And then There was like awkward silence for like 10 seconds and we just stared at each other. And I said, how did you do? She said, okay. And that was it. That was literally it. That was the entire interaction. Usually in university, right? People like engaging in small talk or like we just talk about, oh my god, it went so bad, or oh my god, it went so good, right? But that was just that. It was like the shortest interaction, shortest small talk I've ever had. And it's gotta be like an introvert's dream. Anyways, after the midterm ended, a bunch of guest speakers from Axi Club started talking about how great their club was. Everybody was just seated down, listening to them yap about their club for the next hour, because it's still technically part of lecture hours, right? And I couldn't just leave the lecture. That is so disrespectful, right? Imagine just like in the middle of the class, while the teacher's talking, you just get up and leave. Except I was really, really, really tempted to do that. See, I wasn't off the hook yet. Sure, my midterm for risk management ended, but that was only my Wednesday midterm. I still had another midterm for a main course, a stat course, Stat 333, on Friday. I needed to study for that midterm. I couldn't just listen to the guest speakers yap about their club or whatnot, right? First of all, it's not even relevant lecture information. There was no lecture going on. It was just literally yapping about a club. I was beginning to lose my mind, I'm telling you. Oh my god. Jesus. No, my sheep! Hopefully this is the last netherite mining session that I need to do. Okay, watch this, guys. Woo! Ah! Where am I going? Oh, where am I going? Alright, so I should mine this way and this way, because this area has no lava lakes. Wait, which way was it? Wait. Wait, I'm like directionally challenged. I like forgot which way that was. Anyways, where was I? The guest speakers were talking. I could not bear it. And eventually, I just got up and left. It was so awkward. I was the only person that got up and left. My teacher looked at me with eyes of disapproval. Disappointments, man. Fast forward to Thursday. So Thursday came around and I just needed to study for my Stat 333 midterm. So this time I hit up another friend, Hubert. He was from my classes, my Stat 333 classes, and we began locking in. We locked ourselves into a classroom, which by the way, on our campus, all the classrooms are just open. Like, this is open like that. It's so cool. Like if there's no lecture or no class going on there, it's just free use. You can use the classroom, you can play music, you can log into the computers, you can play movies or whatnot. So we just found ourselves in an empty classroom in the math building, and we locked ourselves there all the way till like 4 a.m. I don't really have much of a highlight reel, but I do remember Hubert bought us 2 Subway sandwiches and 2 ramen packets for later on in the night when like we got too tired studying. So that's pretty cool. I got to eat ramen and like got to experience the authentic college experience. You know what? Let me talk about that ramen. So we were studying for like 8 hours or so, and we were like really tired. This was like 3 a.m. already. And at this point, everyone was home. Not everyone, actually. Everyone was home that didn't have a midterm. The people that had a midterm were still like on campus, and we were just grinding away, right? And we decided to cook up some ramen. But the thing is, everywhere was closed. There was no open places. So we went downstairs, we filled up our ramen packets with cold water, cold fountain water, and we used one of the microwaves available, and we just cooked up that ramen. Honestly, that was that. Not much happened, to be honest. Wait, I'm out of beds again. Insane. So Stat 333 was on stochastic processes. It was a bunch of like a lot of memorization, a lot of proofs of like variance and all that. Honestly, just talking about the midterms gives me a headache. I'm playing Minecraft right now and I don't really want to talk about it anymore. But I'll condense all the story. Long story short, I didn't do too well on it, and yesterday when I came home, when I finished the Stat 333 midterm, oh my god, I was in such a bad mood that I recorded half the video and I just couldn't do it anymore. I went straight to sleep, so I'm recording it the next day. That's all I have for you today. Oh, one highlight was that in the place where I was taking the exams, right, there was a bunch of Minecraft like cardboard cutout boxes just pasted everywhere. There was a life-size nether portal just like on campus. It was kind of funny. That was like the only highlight. Other than that, the midterm kind of sucked. We did not win these. We lost these. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye!